veto ready and waiting. Let's bring it up and see where we will be heading. Where's the border ban? There we go. All right, it'll be bank.
Yeah.
What do we expect?
Yeah, I'm not super surprised by that. It's a map we've seen Sinister play in the past. Nothing this season so far. Wildcard lost bank. That was to Kanga. So they've shown weaknesses and cracks on this map. And look, they had the decision to go between border and bank. They've gone with bank, so maybe they've fixed some of those issues that were appearing in that Kanga match. Sinister, on the other hand, maybe they've got something up their sleeve that they think they can exploit against Wildcard.
Yeah, maybe Wildcard was sort of picking between the lesser of two evils because we know border, they never play it. And I'm assuming that they probably don't scrim it, don't dry run it. So if you take on Sinister, who may have been in behind the scenes really practicing that map hard, which we saw last night, Homeless on border, they brought out some new stuff. They threw TBD off. If we had have gone there, maybe Sinister could have replicated that. But as you mentioned, we will be going bank. But they lost that to Kanga, so it's by no means a good map for them, or a perfect map for them at least.
Yeah, the other thing that I just noticed on the video is Sinister's final ban was Cafe. That's a map that Sinister have lost twice so far this season, and Wildcard played okay against Fury on it, and they've actually also won Cafe so far this season. So potentially Wildcard thought they might have had a chance to get that through. Smart ban from Sinister, I'd say, to take that out, because as you said, maybe border and bank was more of a lesser of two evils, as opposed to Wildcard saying, yes, we got this map.
Well, we think that Sinister may have the edge in the map veto, but what do you guys think? Let's bring up the poll result, and it's going to be heavily in favor of Wildcard. Not too surprising, I guess. Both names, though, are pretty notable.
Yeah, and I mean, considering the form of Wildcard, you could maybe say some points could have gone towards the draw as opposed to a Sinister win. But at the end of the day, Wildcard is still a strong team. Sinister haven't posted any points on the board, albeit against tough opponents. So yeah, I think it's pretty fair for the community to be going in favor of Wildcard at the moment.
Well, bank is ready and waiting, so let's jump straight into it. It's going to be Wildcard versus Sinister. The first time they've played each other this season, of course. Sinister trying to get their first points of the season, and Wildcard trying to get themselves back in a position to make the APAC LAN final. Wildcard on the attack, Sinister on the defense. So Raven, they will have the first ban.
They will, and the first ban locked in very quickly by Sinister. It is the Thatcher, strong operator off the board. We've talked about Thatcher bans so much so far this season, guys. He is definitely the majority attacker that has been banned. Wildcard locking in theirs pretty quick too. It is the Habana. Not a strange operator ban scenario for bank. A lot of emphasis on having a Maverick now on attack.
The team with the stronger Maverick will definitely be favored on the attack. Meanwhile, Mirror will be taken out, very standard on this map. What can we expect for the final ban?
I'd say it's going to be a Maestro or an Echo. Strong defense intel, strong plant denial. It's got to be one of those. Is going to be the Echo. They don't want to deal with that. They are in defense first, though. They could have kept it up if they wanted to, but no, they won't. And we'll have to wait and see where Sinister goes first. We've seen a lot of variation lately about which bomb site these teams have chosen first. Traditionally, it was Lockers. Started to trend towards CEO. Teams recently, I'm about to say it, they've trended towards a first floor site, and open area has been picked by Sinister.
Definitely a fun site to see play out. Many teams having different variations in how they play it. It's a site that still has a lot of maneuverability in the way that strategies can be formed, and Sinister could be rewarded if they've dry run something successful here. Fisho, he's going to 6-pick off the smoke onto a Kaid. So potentially trying to deny some of the control above. That Wildcard will likely try to gain.
First time Sinister is playing this map with their new roster this season. So nothing that Wildcard have actually seen, which can give them the advantage. Wildcard potentially not able to successfully counter-strat them. Based on it hasn't been shown, whereas Sinister have seen Wildcard's efforts on bank. They have had more of an opportunity to counter-strat. The fact that Sinister have gone and chosen open area straight away shows them they've probably put a lot of prep into this map, and that could be a little worrisome for Wildcard.
10 seconds remaining.
Very interesting to see Molosca on the castle.
5 seconds to go.
Typically on attack, he plays entry. He is a strong fragger, so to place him on an operator that has one of the weaker guns on defense is definitely risky. But as you mentioned, if they have stratted this out heavily, it's definitely a deliberate choice that they have planned out and practiced. Very interested to see how Sinister approach the pressure from above though. It doesn't look like they've got a very heavy roam above their heads.
And so far, it's very just much spread out across the map, extending sight, so to speak. A lot of teams like to just extend sight. You don't reinforce everything on site and create a tuner can. You like to open up some holes, move around. It just allows you to have some freedom. Wildcard will start their droning. They're identifying whether there's any cameras in lobby, and the fact that Valkyrie is picked and around, something that Wildcard will have to deal with. They do have Neofighter on the IQ to try and find those cameras. Can be a really difficult thing to push through on Bank if you don't find those Valkyrie cams.
Did you say tuna can before?
I did say tuner can before. In
Mate,
fact,
it's making me a bit hungry. Haven't had tuna in a while, man.
I've heard of strategies on Coastline, in fact, where you reinforce all of theatre, and it's called tuner can.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that one of your strats?
fun fact. We did actually use the tuner can strat, but I think it was somebody else. Anyway, almost half the round, Guz. Not much map control from Wildcard. Are you surprised?
Wait, Wildcard taking their time on attack Raven. No! Shocking. But Wildcard normally have better groundwork in place. Emorin though, he gets the first onto Nico, so that will be the mute off the board as Derpe gets to work on the hatch. Taking a little bit of damage as there has been an Electro Claw placed on top of it. Derpe squiggling lines all over that hatch, trying to get it open as quickly as possible. Taking a little bit of time and a lot of fuel. It will finally be popped with just over a minute to go.
Just enough in that tank to be able to pop the soft hatch, but look at that, Sinister not really playing on site at all. Fisho and Luna are the closest two players. Two more off site. It was Nico on the mute who was taken out first. Luna with a nice, dirty little angle into Archives there. Vinny playing nearby also. Drone's coming up from Wildcard. Oscar playing on the main stairs, trying to hold that long angle into Tellers. Which looks like Wildcard do want to take, but they will be up against some opponents.
Ethan continues to drone out for his teammates. That drone will eventually become redundant, and he jumps into the lone office. He has a really nice long angle down past the elevators to his right. And again, Wildcard are just taking their time, and Sinister looking quite strong, but when it starts to get hectic, that's when we often see them crumble. 15 seconds left on the board now, and Diesel's going to attempt the plant. Hopefully the plant denial is there from Sinister as Milo's above. Derpe and Vinny get one, and the plant comes out from Milo. He gets two, and Diesel is forced to get the plant down, and Milo gets three, leaving it up to Ethan, who had that long angle before, to cover the plant. Sinister now need to play this very smart. Go for those refrags. Just be very mindful of the fact that he could be above. They feed him once, but Vinny gets the refrag, and Sinister, they didn't throw the round, Raven.
They closed it out. They closed it out off the back of a beautiful flank from Milo. And some beautiful refrags. Great start for Sinister. And not just that, they secured a round win on the random bomb site, you could say. That this worked out by choosing this first. And not only that, Wildcard's mindset already affected coming into this map after last night. And now on that total off-meta site, they've lost the round in a post-plant situation to a devastating flank.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
I did allude to the fact earlier that Milo might struggle a little bit to frag out, but hey, he proved me wrong. And this is going to be a really interesting matchup because of the way these teams play. Wildcard on the attack, they often take a really long time to eventually go for the execute. Sinister, on the other hand, they often look so comfortable until those late round rushes. So potentially Wildcard's playstyle could throw Sinister off, but on that occasion, they held strong. They had a really nice refrag to finish things off, and it looked pretty convincing.
Did, and they're going to go up to CEO. Nice double castle onto the box windows there. As common, usually you see maybe just the left side taken so you can still freely rotate around. They're really just castling off box there. Interesting strat. See how it works out. Milo was the one that went off on that last round, netting himself 3 kills. Vinny here on the Maestro. Like maybe he might play around Kanto, setting himself up with Evil Eye. Nope, not going to happen. Sinister, it's a great start for them. Not something we haven't seen before though, so I hope they can continue the form throughout their defense half.
Does look like Sinister do have pretty well prepared setups here. Everything feels deliberate, which is always nice. It's going to be up to Wildcard to try and pick it apart. They do have 2 hard breaches on the board, and they may well go for a site take from the east over towards square. That's to the right of Derpe. Of course, he is one of those hard breaches. Alternatively, Wildcard could swing around and go from the other side at lobby, but it does look like Wildcard are going to commit to this side of the map so far.
Yep, looks like they want to try and get these walls open, which means they're going to have to secure Skylight, check the room below, check stock, clear the hallways so they're finally able to move in. And then the other thing they have to deal with is potentially an impact trick, which could be Milo. Castle could have brought those impacts. Fisher is also sitting tight in Janitor there with a shield. Can be difficult to flush out. There is an ADS there as well. And with no Thatcher, means they will have to deal with it otherwise. And no IQ to spot it out.
A lot of intel there for Sinister to play off with those Evil Eyes. Nico, meanwhile, he's doing Nico Tings, playing all the way below. We know he can have a big impact. Playing on the Jaeger on this occasion. And again, it's just so quiet. Wildcard are just droning out, taking their sweet time, and Sinister are just sitting around waiting.
I think that's something that if Sinister mastered this early round patience, could really come back to hurt Wildcard. See how it works out for this round. Half of the round played out now. Diesel is the Thermite player there on that Skylight window. Will need to repel in to do the hard breach. Speaking of repelling in, they are repelling into that box position. Has been completely castled off. Could be the undoing for Sinister. Milo knows very much that the plant is coming. Execute is happening, Guz. 4 versus 3 though, some refrags coming out.
Make that a 3-on-3 as Fisho gets one, but unfortunately he will be dropped, leaving it up to Nico and Vinny. The diffuser in a good position for Sinister, right in the middle of side, and Nico with the flank could get a kill, but he gets shut down. So Vinny now with the older needs to try and clutch it up. Emarin attempting the plant, so it's effectively a 1-on-2 during this stage, but the plant, it won't go down as Wildcard get the final kill. That's Ethan. And a push that looked a little bit sketch is recovered.
I'm not sure whether that was meant to be some kind of trap that Sinister was setting up with Box, but by setting up those 3 castles, they effectively set up a safe zone for Wildcard to just repel in. Once they knew that they had that CEO control, the Janitor's player was playing in that hard wall, they could just repel in, which we saw 2 players just came straight in. They had all that safety, so I'm not too sure about the strategy there from Sinister. Might need to rework that one, but they're going to just rotate away. They're going to go to lockers. And look, they're showing the castle, so maybe trying to bait them to think they're retrying that top floor.
Potentially. Fisho did jump onto the Kaid. He'll be useful in denying entries from the hatches. But guess what? Derpe brought the Maverick, so it won't be that effective anyway. Maybe if they could drop Derpe early, they'll be in a really nice position to win the round. But I'd say it's a pretty safe bet. He will play quite passively. He'll have coverage from his teammates and Sinister. Basically have to forfeit control of those hatches late round.
They're making light work of those walls with that TCSG. Yeah, the Kaid, look, it will at least ensure that you can't just freely get the hatches. You have to use your Maverick. As you said, that means that Derpe needs to be a little bit cautious, because if he is picked early, it means that they have to either try and use the Thermite and shoot off the Electric Claw somehow, or that just simply don't get hatches open. Depends on what Sinister try to do. If there is a roam, then of course Derpe will be in danger, but if they do turtle onto site, not going to be too much of an issue for him to get in and actually open the hatches.
Wildcard now. Spraying down the window at open area. There isn't a player there. It looks like Sinister are playing pretty standard downstairs hold. We do occasionally see teams attempt an upstairs roam, but it is quite risky. Maybe that is the play against Wildcard. Try and make them feel a bit uneasy in the early stages of the round where they feel so comfortable. Either way, though, Sinister are just going to stay below for now. Nico, probably in the most aggressive position at the moment. He's playing Smoke at the top of blue with that shotgun. Often, we will see Smoke play safer for that plant denial. So if Nico dies here, Sinister might find it a little bit tricky to waste time late round.
Speaking of wasting time, they haven't really set up anything to waste time of Wildcard on gaining this map control, which is their biggest weakness. So Derpe is already making work on these hatches, only after a minute ticked away. Quite efficient. That means that Wildcard can progress closer and closer to server. they can clear that out quickly, they'll be in a really great position to bait out utility for an execute.
Derpe does get that hatch open using his little, I'm going to call it the squiggle technique. A little bit safer as it's hard to shoot him back through his own angle. Neofighter on the IQ will spot a gadget, but it's on the other side of the wall, and I don't think he will be able to shoot it just yet. Luna and Vinny are there to greet him at the bottom of the stairs if he does decide to push it. Meanwhile, Diesel on the thermite, he will open 2 hatches as well. So hatch control completely forfeited, and Wildcard in a nice position now to set up for a plant.
Yeah, and more importantly, using those thermite charges on the west side means they're doing a lobby push. They won't really push server. They can't open those walls. I'd be surprised if they did at least. Dope can hold that server rotate now, which means that player will either have to flank or push through. Ethan's struggling to get this garage control, but if he's able to obtain this and flush out this position, that's strong control for Wildcard to get that execute ready.
Ethan, he's pushing inside of garage and could be in an early engagement here with Luna. Gets
Oh,
one.
no way!
The transfer onto Fisho nets him 2 kills early, and Sinister, and now on the back foot. It's a 3-on-5, just over 30 seconds remaining, and Wildcard are now in the perfect position to go for their classic late round execute. Nico still holding the top of blue, but look, there's no one there. Vinny, meanwhile, he gets emo rin. Nico still wasting time at the top of blue. Not sure what those smokes are trying to achieve. He teams up with Milo now, and they could potentially go for a flank. 15 seconds left, and that smoke is actually being used against him. Still getting lit up by it. Nico, of course, is immune. Neofighter is going for the plant. The denial not really there, and the flank watch is also in position. Milo refrags it, and it's a 3-on-2. Vinny, I believe, may have been downed. He has, but Milo with the wallbang makes it a little bit more possible. It's effectively a 1-on-2. He needs to try and retake the bomb site. Almost gets that kill. I almost thought he hit it, but he doesn't. And Wildcard will take the round. Or did he take the kill? Did he get a headshot against? Was that against Neo in the kill feed?
Yeah, it might have been a trade. It was a trade.
He was dead.
Yeah, so got it down to almost a 1v1. Look, Sinister, I'm not too sure what their read was there once everything was open on that west side. Oh, I've got to see this shot from Ethan. That transfer was crazy to get that double kill. Oh, Sinister are going to be spewing if they see that back.
Oh, the slow-mo makes it worse.
Milo almost getting that successful push, but yeah, you know what? That read from Sinister, I'm not too sure. Like, it was very, very obvious that Wildcard were going to push that west side. Vinny was in vault perfectly. He was the maestro. He has the bullet hose. He can watch that hatch drop. He did get 1 on the hatch drop, but his 2 mates were over just in server stairs.
Oh, just like
they were smoking off nobody, and then they couldn't get out because of those smoke grenades. And Vinny just got isolated. So some poor decision making there from Sinister. They could have potentially brought that back. Not to be. Wildcard will be up 2-1, and Sinister will rotate bomb site. Now they're going to hold Tiller's Archives.
That's an around the world trip now for Sinister. All 4 sites have been played now. Definitely looks like Sinister have stratted for all 4. The last objective in terms of setup probably looked their weakest. Most default, I feel. And unfortunately, once Luna was taken out there, alongside Fisho, the rest of it crumbled. Hopefully,
5 seconds left.
Sinister can bring one back here. Towers and Archives.
Attackers
Definitely
are
a
moving out to
defendable
locate a
position,
bomb
and it looks like
defuse it.
Sinister are quite confident in roaming vertically, or at least horizontally once again.
In one way, you would never have thought that the round that Sinister did win was that open area defense. But in another way, maybe it was just enough to catch Wildcard off guard. So of course they won it. But either way, they need to win some other bomb sites here. See what they can pull out for Tiller's Archives. Again, I really think they just need to slow down Wildcard. So it's great to see they've got this Mute Mozzie combo that will slow down the droning. That is a drone taken now. That means that they will have to slow down, be more thorough on their clear, because they don't have that intel.
Doesn't really look like Sinister have a strong roam above anyway, so Wildcard are leaking the clock at the moment. Just trying to make sure that every single corner has been checked. However, Sinister are roaming strong horizontally across the map. They've extended it over towards open area. Derpe now setting up for this skylight drop. We've seen Fnatic use this quite a bit to get aggressive. Derpe just playing patiently, waiting to see if a player will cross his crosshairs. Meanwhile though, Ethan has made his way inside of lobby, and Wildcard is starting to get things ticking.
Yeah, Ethan with some pretty solid control there in lobby, and if Sinister can't take that top floor back. Blue control will be very safe for them. Guy under siege a bit on site with that sledge above. Trying to peek through and get some shots onto Emo Rin. Not seeing anything so far. Also has a C4 in his pocket that he could try to use to get in Rin.
Fisho trying to get this early peek, but he gets thrown out. Gets shot from above, I believe. Gets away with his life. Another wasteful C4. Will not net a kill and only create another angle for him to be watched through. Derpe still on this skylight drop.
Diesel looks like he's going to start opening up that printer wall now at the teller's desk. Which means Fisher Guy is just under so much pressure right now. He needs his teammates to start alleviating some of that, start putting some pressure back onto Wildcard. Or he is just going to be picked, and that will mean that side is clear. 40 seconds to go as Diesel does finally clear him out. It's looking very much like this could be another Wildcard round.
30 seconds left. Diesel has the diffuser in hand. Sees a play across the footholes, but doesn't net the kill. That will be Milo who gets away with it once again. 10 seconds have dropped down, so there's 20 to go. They need to start pushing towards the site. The more this timer runs down, the less chances they have to re-attempt the plant. Nico gets one. Ethan as well, so it is a 4-on-3. Molosika gets flashed out. They know he's on these stairs, but they're still yet to flush him out. He's wasting so much time, and there's only 5 seconds left. Diesel, he's low, but he's going to attempt the plant. Ethan gets 2. That's his triple for the round, and Milo's left all alone to try and retake the site. But once again, Wildcard with an explosive final few seconds will net the round win.
Sinister just giving Wildcard too much space, and Fisher Guy really just not helped at all on site. Once he was cleared out, it was all Wildcard. They did take their time getting that plant down, just wanting to make sure they pushed a little deeper to work those picks. Worked out for them on that occasion. They are up 3-1 now, guys, so these attacks working out relatively well for Wildcard. Sinister left to, go back to the drawing board. They're going to have to change some of these strats. They're going to attempt lockers again. They think they can do that one better.
Sinister they look so strong until the very end. It just slowly falls apart. And it's a trend that has continued throughout many of actually Wildcard's games, at least for their opponents, because Wildcard continue over and over and over playing that slow, methodical playstyle followed up by that explosive execute. So this is potentially one of Sinister's hardest opponents when Wildcard are playing well, just because of that contrast in playstyle.
One thing I think Sinister just aren't exploiting enough is that time management. They've got Fisher Guy on the Mozzie this time, that's great. But especially for a Lockers defense, because it gives you those extra floors to roam. They're able to get the Mute Mozzie combo running on those top floors, or even a light roam just to shoot some drones. That's just going to stall out Wildcard so much more. Last time we saw Sinister defend this, Wildcard cleared the map super easy with their drones. They were in opening hatches all within about 50 seconds. And that is just playing too much to a strength of Wildcard by giving them that extra time.
You'd see Luna there in the late round setting up again inside of Garage. Fortunately, she, alongside Fisher Guy, were shut down previously and really helped Wildcard win that attack. Hopefully this time they can waste a little bit more time. We did see Vinny actually place barbed wire to help assist in that entry, but it does look like the initial entry is going to come out from Neo. He's already got nice control of open area. There is a rotate there. Not exactly sure the reasoning behind that. Nico, I think, used it to get to the hatch maybe a little bit quicker. I'm not too sure. But Sinister, they're not playing above, and Wildcard now have full control.
They do. Luna's trying to play aggressive on the stairs, but she's just going to back away once that drone comes through. And again, nothing really slowing down Wildcard at all. Drone's not really shot, and not sure how effective those pests were, but Derpe's in, opening that hatch again in that first 50 seconds to a minute. So, look, Wildcard look like they might push server this time. Ethan is over there. Nico ready to contest. Last time it was completely ignored. So this could be a slight change in the attack.
We did see Diesel use his exothermic charges on the hatches last time. Maybe he'll keep them spare as they try and push blue. Nico now feeling the pump more so than he did on their previous attempt. Ethan, Emo Rin, and Neo alongside Diesel. 4 members of Wildcard trying to flush out this position. So many flashes coming out, and Nico will fall victim to the last, but his smoke will prevent the rush, and now he's in a nice position to potentially get a few kills. They're going to start peeking it. They're forced to. They've only got just over a minute to go. Another flash comes out and the concussion. Nico, can he make it back to safety? He will momentarily, but he gets over aggressive with that peek and Nico will shut him down.
Yeah, that was looking good for Nico. He did make it to safety. Probably shouldn't have peeked out with that gas grenade, but either way, he did delay some time. So finally, some delay came into the wildcard attack. That's a good job by him into the final minute now. The smoke bait's not there to bait out though, so it allows wildcard that extra time.
Oh!
Oh, that
Okay.
pre-fire.
What?
That's the thermite as well. Oh, some
Attackers located
fortunate
a bomb.
luck for Sinister.
Attackers recovered the bomb
Now
diffuser.
wildcard are going to have some work cut out for them.
Wildcard now unable to open the wall and they're going to be forced to rush in towards site, potentially plant just behind the bomb. Sinister in a really nice position to win this round, but it looks like Derpe and Ethan may rotate to try and squeeze them out. The smokes will be shot out from Neo and the entry is on. Ethan drops the hatch and gets Luna looking the wrong way. Now he's got control of the hallway and they could attempt the plant quickly. Ethan gets shut down, just misses that second shot, and Neo should be able to stick the plant. Derpe, meanwhile, he's getting lit up on main stairs, unable to cover, but it doesn't matter. The diffuser has gone down and now Vinny and Milo need to clutch it out. Ethan gets one, so Vinny now on the Older, on the Maestro, needs to try and get 3, worried that he could get shot from the hatch, but he's also exposed 2 behind as well. He's going to push out, but the pinch is there, and Wildcard will win round number 5, and Raven, that's 4 straight.
It is, and Sinister maybe not able to capitalize on that sheer luck of that pre-fire getting the thermite. Maybe not realizing who exactly they took out, but no real denial of entry into that doorway. At that stage, once they had that thermite off the board, hard peeks onto the doorway, even nobody watching or trying to assess the hatch drop situation where Ethan just dropped and found Luna completely unaware in red hallway. Just gave Wildcard just too much control. They're up 4-1 now in their attack half.
Yeah, it just seemed that Sinister weren't conscious of the fact that the wall hadn't been opened and there wasn't really time left for them to then open the wall and attempt the plant. So that in their minds, they should have gone, they're going to drop the hatch, they're going to rush into sight. Luna,
Attackers need to locate
she's caught off
and
guard.
defuse
The rest of their
bomb.
teammates playing so far away from the site that they had to take on long angles that again, Wildcard shut down. So Sinister just struggling, I think, to adapt in these last second scenarios. Think on their feet a little bit more and it costs them. They could still go into the half with a 4-2 loss. I think if they do that, they're still in with a shot to maybe draw out the match. But a 5-1 deficit, that's really stretching the envelope. Stretching the envelope, pushing the envelope.
Well, it stretches it as well if you
10
push it, I
seconds
guess.
remaining.
Yeah,
Either way,
true.
it's not good for Sinister. And
Yep.
they have to win this. And ironically, if they do win this, the only site they would have won in their defenses is open area. It's quite
Attackers are
astounding.
moving out to
Don't
locate a
take
bomb and
Sinister to
defuse
bank. 4 open area. Asterisks.
See whether they can do it again. Potentially, you could say the first round was simply because they caught Wildcard off guard a little bit. They can replicate it. At least they'll get themselves another round. Give themselves more of a chance to get back into this game. Win some attacks.
Wildcard did only win 1 defense. Again, no, sorry, they won 3 defenses against Kangar when they lost it. Of course, on bank. So maybe that'll bode well for Sinister in the second half. But there is still 1 round to go. If they win this, maybe they'll give themselves a nice confidence boost. But I think they're definitely going to have to tidy up that late round because time and time again, Wildcard are playing so patiently, not giving away that early pick, and then their explosivity late in the round is it's been beautiful to watch. It's like a painting, like a performance. Every piece just coming together. Makes me a bit emotional.
Like the feeling of solving a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of though, half the round ticking away. Not a whole lot. They do have some ground and holding some angles to the roamed areas from Sinister. No engagements or picks at this stage, which puts more pressure onto those attackers. Imarin starting to push down the main stairs. Fisher trying to get a nice little peek onto the Maverick. Derpe been so careful so far though as he opens these hatches. I don't think Fisher is going to have much luck finding anything.
Derpe creating many angles that can watch and monitor this long hallway. It can be guesswork as a defender to know which one to peek. Diesel, he gets the first on to Fisho, so that will be the Kaid off the board. Pretty similar setup coming out again from Sinister in terms of their offsite prowess. But with this man disadvantage, it may be too risky.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of C4s not making connections. Emo Rune's going to renovate the roof above Vinny as he's being pressured from all angles. Diesel also managed to fund one. Vinny shooting up onto the Maverick. Does get him down at least. But wow, Wildcard really putting the pressure on this roam.
I know exactly where this Valkyrie is, and he will be shut down, leaving it up to Nico and Luna. 20 seconds left, but the Claymore gets one. Luna, though, she gets two, and this is definitely winnable. Luna up against Ethan on the Zofia. Luna has the diffuser to her left, should know it's in position, and potentially Sinister have some intel. They have Valkyrie on the board, and it looks like she may well know where Ethan is entering from. He doesn't have time. He needs to go for the frag. The sound cue from Luna is enough, and she gets the 3K to win the round for her team. And Wildcard will let that one slip away, and Raven, the only site on bake that they win is open area.
It is. Luna, the beast, stepping up. What a clutch from her. That round looked totally Wildcard and totally lost for Sinister. That was an insane little 1 versus 3, and it does give them that extra chance coming into their attack half.
That was nice.
That was nice.
I think, mate, do you reckon they had intel there at the end? It feels like it.
Sinister?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I heard some pings as Ethan entered through admin, so really helping Sinister secure that. Really going to come down to how they deal with their attacks, though.
Attackers need to locate.
Struggled a bit on defense, and Wildcard have looked all right on their bank defenses before. So these attacks are the true telling story for Sinister. Kanga did manage to win quite a few attacks against Wildcard, and also they got a rush that was executed beautifully against Wildcard. Definitely some cracks there they can exploit. Hopefully they can find them.
Expecting Wildcard to likely go for a more standard default setup down towards side. It doesn't look like they will attempt to roam. Sinister didn't either. That trend may continue. Okay, Ethan, 13 kills. Not bad. Milo as well, top fragging for Sinister. Milo has had a few rough matches so far this season. Of course, it is his Pro League debut coming across from Sleeper Gaming. But I think he's been doing quite a decent job considering that he doesn't have as much experience as a lot of these players in ANZ have previously.
Yeah, he's definitely shown that he can play at this level, and he can be in a Pro League team. So just not combining as a team, though, to secure anything thus far. Those open area holds looked not too bad. That last one a bit sketch. See what Wildcard can pull out. Ethan looks like he's going to play these service stairs by himself as the Jaeger, keeping those ADSs in his pocket, so waiting for them to burn, and then he'll place more, creating some frustrations for the attack.
Talking about the attack, Vinny's going to get the ball rolling, entering open area. Looks like Luna will be alongside, so the two hard breaches are targeting those hatches. Milo, meanwhile, he's going to play flank watch in the meantime, holding the main stairs, and Fisher Guy is going to look for gadgets inside of archives. Places a breach charge as well, so that's a nice rotate for his team that are above if they want to go for a blue execute. And it looks like that may well be the case, as a lot of intel gathering is happening. Ethan's actually fallen back, so this is a really nice chance for Sinister to gain this control early. Luna needs to be careful that she doesn't get her head taken off here. We saw Derpe play it very smart. Ethan is well and truly aware that it could be another peak, but Luna gets away safe.
Ethan still pre-fires it just in case, not finding anything though. We'll finally be able to dump his ADSs in towards red, which will save the red player from some stuns and frag grenades. Thermite charges. Oh, being denied by an Evil Eye there. Big oversight from Sinister, which means they only have one left and the long angle won't get opened up at least. Giving themselves about a minute to start baiting out utility. Diesel still completely has his smoke grenades. It's going to take a lot of effort to bait these out. Still some C4s as well.
Diesel with the pre-ripped smoke. He's a long way away in safety behind the desk that is in front of him. Vinny is going to try and re-attempt the plant. But hey, guess what? Diesel's going to throw another smoke. So 30 seconds left on the board and 1 smoke left in hand. Diesel will be able to bait out a little bit more time, and Sinister will need to go for an aggressive execute. Vinny, he's going to re-attempt it. But hey, guess what? It's another smoke to greet him. So now there's only 20 seconds left on the board. Milo is above on the hatch to try and cover and could drop late if required. And now this is where it's going to start heating up. Vinny's going to attempt the plant. No more smokes left on the board. Wildcard need to throw a C4. Hey, they will. They get 2. Diesel as well gets 1. And now it's all up to Nico in the site. And Wildcard will flawlessly take their first defense.
Wildcard just had no need to really reposition in that final part of the round. Oh, some crisp shots from Ethan there to close it out. Those C4s just being held safely from Wildcard in the red hallway. Not able to be stopped by the stun. Nobody from Sinister really pressuring anybody on site. Just trying to hold some angles. And in that instance, it's always going to favor the defenders, especially with all that utility that was still in their pocket with so much time. Beautifully executed from Wildcard, giving themselves a 3-round buffer now. Looking pretty good to take this map, guys.
And I mean, sometimes you don't necessarily need to heavily pressure red, but you need to have the long angle open so that you have the potential to shoot those C4s that do fly out. Without that long angle open, shooting them in midair is incredibly tough because you don't have as much time to see it, track it, and actually shoot it. So, well played by Wildcard. Once again, just playing nice and poised and controlled. Sinister looking a little bit erratic. And now we are potentially 1 round away from that match point.
Wildcard going to the top floor here. Going to be playing a double ACOG strat. Neo and Derpe both with that ACOG. Diesel opening those holes above the walls means maybe we'll see an impact trick coming out. It could be in the form of Emarin. Or even Derpe if he has brought impact grenades. Something that Sinister will have to be aware of because it's not as simple as just taking the Skylight control. You have to either flush out the player looking to throw those impact grenades, figure out some other counter. They do have some good verticality there. Nico on the buck will be enabling them to go below and buck up and take out some of those players' positions so that they can more comfortably deal with those walls.
Wildcard, like Sinister, have brought the castle. Slightly different setup though, not quite as aggressive over at the box. Sinister now taking their time to drone things out. Milo on the rappel, trying to pressure the windows potentially, but he will fall off. Nico, he spots that the above the walls have been opened, so he can actually lob grenades over that if he wants. Try to prevent that trick, the impact trick, from coming out by Wildcard, who, again, they're just chilling inside, waiting for their time to explode.
Neo Fighter though, he'll peek out onto Milo. Zofia taken off with no utility burn. That means those Evil Eyes are a little bit safer. There are some frag grenades to worry about from 2 operators on the attackers. But it means there's a little more work to be done for the attackers to do so. Castle sitting pretty right near this wall. He might be able to easily impact trick this if Sinister aren't careful. Nobody on those windows to pressure. Luna is finally there, close now. Ooh. That frag grenade coming out, not going to actually do any fatal damage. Impact missed though, guys. Not quite deep enough, but Emarin legs it out the window and gets Luna.
A big kill there for Wildcard. Nico almost dropped as well from the long angle. He survives. Emarin though, where's he gone? I think he's made his way potentially to the main door. Either way though, Sinister are left in a 3-5 deficit. Vinny, Nico, and Fisho are the 3 members left alive on the board. All 3 with decent guns and decent frag potential. But look at these long angles from Wildcard. The double ACOG strat, as you alluded to earlier, will be critical in helping to deny this entry. Derpe will watch one side, and I'm assuming that Neo will likely watch the hallway or the other entry.
Yeah, Fisher guy was in lobby looking to shut down the rotate. Back in from Emarin. Tagged him up, but Neo was there beautifully to cover. Vinny is getting this plant down though. Ethan right next to him to deny. This could be another flawless round for Wildcard here.
Nico left with the impossible to do. He's going to pre-fire Janitors. That won't get him a kill. And now all of Wildcard will be watching this side of the map, knowing that he is in this position. And there we go. They'll clean it up. A flawless round in the end for Wildcard, and now they're on match point. Doop.
Beautifully played from Wildcard in the end. Sinister just not really able to get anything going in these attacks, guys. Every time they look like they're just getting the control they need or just at the step they need to be, Wildcard have thrown something at them. It came in the form of Immerin just jumping out and taking out Luna. Maybe they tunneled a bit. Fisho going into the lobby to try and get Immerin. He was just playing patiently in ATMs, baiting it out. So Neo playing at the top of the red stairs could just peek and take him off. Beautifully played Wildcard. 6-2 match point. Huge buffer.
Wildcard definitely playing better than they did against Kanga, where unfortunately they did drop the map. Sinister just looking a little bit shaky. Unable to really formulate any momentum in these
Attackers
rounds.
need to locate and defuse bombs.
The 2 rounds they did win, if you have just joined us, were defenses on open area. Which is, you know, a good effort. But if you're unable to defend and attack the more default sites, you are going to fall victim to these sort of scorelines.
Yeah, let's not take anything away from those open area victories either. First one coming from a beautiful retake and a nice 3k flank from Milo. And then the second one came from a nice 1v3 clutch from Luna. So nice rounds, but just getting nothing happening here on attack at all. Their last chance, essentially, they've got 4 perfect rounds ahead of them to at least secure the draw on this map. Wildcard looking to secure themselves another 3 points that they are so desperately searching for.
Wildcard need every point they can get at this stage. The start of their season hasn't been fantastic. Look, you could make the argument that this season is all but over for them, but they can't have that in their minds. They need to push for every point from here on out. Give themselves every opportunity to make it to that APAC Grand Final. Sinister though, they're looking to avoid relegations at this stage. They're at the bottom of the standings coming into this play day, and if they don't get any points, they're going to stay there.
Conversely as well, Wildcard need to think broader. They need to bring some momentum into SI because you don't want to be coming off the back of a dismal Pro League season start to try and have to buck that trend at boot camp.
Wait, did you say buck because Nico was playing buck?
I didn't, but it was just beautiful.
That's
Beautiful timing.
Thanks, MC.
Oh, Neo hitting some shots on the Fisho there from the lobby. Again, Sinister, do they not have drones in the lobby watching that position? It's so common that somebody's playing in that position if you're going to repel on the windows. These mistakes from Sinister really costing them. C4 from Immerin. Not getting anything.
The C4 usage on this map tonight
Yeah.
has been pretty ordinary.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Ethan though, he picks up Fisho. That's a nice kill for Wildcard, and that'll be the IQ dropped off the board for Sinister. Ethan tries to take on the long angle there with the holo. Derpe gets Luna though, so it's a 5-on-3. Derpe on the dock. Milo gets one though. He's on the Zofia. He actually flanked and got Ethan, who was playing that desk position. If Milo can pick up another under Derpe, this round is winnable. Vinny sees the player to his left in Janitors, but he misses the shot. And Derpe's allowed to get Nico. A misplay from Sinister will help Wildcard get a grip on this round. Nico needs to try and be mindful. His teammates aren't holding that flank. Either way, though, it's a 1-on-3 now. And Vinny, with 1 shot left of HP, has 50 seconds left to try and clutch the round. But Raven, this should definitely go the way of Wildcard.
I'll definitely be surprised if he's able to get this. He's clutched some rounds before, but considering his HP, it's going to be a big ask. Considering there could be a simple goo mine that he walks into, or a bullet from Neo Fighter.
Wildcard will return to their best form. They take bank against Sinister, a relatively good performance in the end. Sinister only getting 2 rounds, both in their defensive half. Wildcard looking quite dominant throughout. Ethan with the MVP in the Legion Elite. Looking very nice.
Very nice indeed. Oof, 17-4. Ethan just man on fire tonight. See whether he can continue it into the second map, but that's a great effort from him, popping off for Wildcard to finally secure some more points, considering their disappointment of only getting 1 in their series against Fury last night. And it was a solid effort on bank from Wildcard.
It's a little bit early, but is this the start of Wildcard returning?
Look, I've got to say, they looked pretty good, but Sinister also made a lot of errors. A lot of errors.
It's just